Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Aisha Arning Wali. I am student in Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute Level 1 Batch 21. So today I have to talk to ChatGPT to conduct my AI session, and the topic is how less can lead to more. Let's start. Hi, how are you?
Hey there. I'm here and ready to help with whatever you need. What's on your mind today?
Yeah. So today my topic is how less can lead to more.
Ooh, I love that topic. It's so interesting because it applies to so many areas, whether it's minimalism, design, productivity, even just mindset. What angle were you thinking of exploring?
Okay. So my first question is, can you tell me what does less is more mean to you in everyday life?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, less is more is really about focusing on the essentials. So it's like choosing fewer things but making them more meaningful. In everyday life, it might mean simplifying my schedule so I have more space for rest or even just decluttering so that my space feels calmer. What about you? Does it have a similar feel or is it different?
Yeah, simplicity means it's easy to give more attention to ourselves and make our life easier.
Exactly. And it's kind of counterintuitive, right? You might think that having fewer things means less richness, but it often means more depth, more space to reflect, to focus on what we care about, and just to feel more present. I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. So tell me, how can reducing distractions improve your focus?
Ah, that's a great one. So, when you reduce distractions, whether that's digital, like notifications, or even just physical clutter, your mind isn't constantly jumping around. So, you get this clearer mental space and you can focus deeper on the task at hand. It's kind of like giving your brain some breathing room.
Yeah. So, how does having fewer possessions impact your mindset?
Yeah, it's really interesting. When you have fewer possessions, it kind of frees you from this constant weight of keeping up with stuff. So you tend to feel lighter, less stressed, and more intentional, like you really own your things instead of them owning you.
So, tell me, my another question is, why do you think simplicity often brings clarity?
Yeah, I think it's because when we simplify, we cut out all that noise. Like we're not distracted by too many options or too much busyness. So what's left is just the core. And that core is often easier to understand and really focus on.
Okay. So, how can saying no more often create better opportunities in your life?
Yeah, that's a big one. When you say no, you actually protect your time and your energy. So it means you can say yes to the things that really align with your goals or your values. In a way, it's like creating space for better possibilities to come in.
Yeah. So, tell me, how does focusing on fewer goals increase your chances of success?
Yeah, absolutely. When you focus on just a few goals, you give yourself the chance to dive deep. So you can put all your energy, your time, and your resources into those key areas. And that focus over time builds real momentum. So your chances of success go way up.
Yeah, so focus plays an important role in our daily life, or
Yeah, exactly. It's like a guiding force. When we focus, we're less likely to get pulled in a million directions and we can be more present and purposeful. So, whether it's work, relationships, or even just self care, that focus really shapes the quality of our days.
so how does simplifying your environment affect your mental health?
Yeah, it's really powerful. When your environment is simpler, it reduces that sense of overwhelm. You don't have all these visual or mental distractions, so you can feel calmer, more organized, and just a bit more in control, almost like a mental reset.
Yes, so why do people often believe that more is better even when it's not true?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just habit and culture. We're kind of conditioned to believe that having more, whether it's possessions, achievements, or busyness, means more success or fulfillment. But in reality, that more can dilute the quality of what we actually experience.
So you can give me a little example about this topic?
Of course. So imagine you live in a small, cozy space with just a few meaningful items, each one you love and use regularly. In that simplicity, you feel a sense of calm. Now, contrast that with a cluttered space filled with lots of stuff. Some useful, some just noise. In the simpler environment, you have more mental clarity, more focus, and really more peace.
So, do you think that even in less, if we have cool and calm mindset, and even in more, if we don't have cool and calm mindset, or even if in more we have calm mindset, so how they can relate each other and how we can benefit our human being.
That's a really good point. I think it's not just about having less or more, it's about how you engage with it. So if you have a calm mindset, whether you have fewer things or more, you can still be intentional and grounded. And that mindset, regardless of how much you have, helps you make better choices, reduces stress, and really supports a more fulfilling life.
Yes. So tell me, how can emotional minimalism improve relationships?
Ooh, that's a really thoughtful connection. So when you practice emotional minimalism, you focus on letting go of unnecessary drama or cluttered emotions. That creates more space for honest communication, deeper connection, and just a more genuine presence in your relationships. So it really helps them thrive.
Yes. So what role does letting go play in achieving inner peace?
Yeah, letting go is huge. When we release attachment to old grudges, expectations, or just mental clutter, we stop carrying this heavy emotional load. And that frees up space inside so we can feel more present, more calm, and at peace with where we are.
Yeah. So tell me, how can reducing expectations lead to greater happiness?
Yeah, definitely. When we reduce expectations, we kind of free ourselves from constant disappointment or pressure. Instead, we stay open to what is and we appreciate it more. So that shift lets us find joy in simple moments and it really boosts our sense of happiness because we're not constantly chasing some perfect outcome.
Yeah. So tell me, is it possible that having fewer choices can make you feel more fulfilled? Why?
Absolutely. When you have fewer choices, it reduces that overwhelm and decision fatigue, so you can put more thought and energy into each option. And that often means you feel more connected to what you choose and ultimately more fulfilled because each choice feels more intentional.
So how can embracing less help you discover your true purpose?
Yeah, that's a beautiful connection. When you strip away the noise, whether it's extra commitments, possessions, or distractions, you create this quiet space where you can really listen to yourself. And in that stillness, you can uncover those deeper passions, that sense of purpose that's been waiting beneath all the clutter.
Yeah. So how can embarrassing less help you discover your true purpose?
Ah, that's a really interesting angle. I think when you say yes to less, especially the things that make you uncomfortable or feel risky, you start to strip away all the external expectations. And in that vulnerability, you often find your real values and passions because you're acting from a more honest place, not from what you think you should do.
Yeah. So if success means doing less but achieving more impact, what would you stopping doing?
Exactly. It's like a shift in perspective. By doing less of the surface level stuff, you actually create more space for depth, meaning, and impact. So you might have fewer activities or things, but they're more aligned and they take you further toward what matters most.
Yeah. So it's I. What do you think about to? How can you summarize the topic and what are the like main points?
Yeah, absolutely. So, at its core, the idea is that by simplifying, whether it's possessions, commitments, or even emotions, you create space for more intentionality, clarity, and focus. That often leads to deeper fulfillment, better decision making, and a stronger connection to your purpose. So, in a way, less really does lead to more.
So do you think it depends on person to person? Like every person have different priorities or different mindset or like different lifestyles or different as already I tell different mindset. So it's depend on person to person how they spend their life and which thing is he or she or bring on the top and how they spend.
Yeah, definitely. It's super personal. Everyone has different values, lifestyles, and needs. So for some, minimalism might mean fewer things, but for others, it might just be about simplifying their schedule or being more selective with their commitments. So it really depends on what works for them and what brings them that sense of purpose and peace.
Yeah, so can we relate like people who are good in their lifestyles, like Allah has blessed him more and more, and those people and some people are spending their life in middle like middle class, lower class, and upper class. So everyone comparison their lives with the lower, comparison their life with middle one, and middle one comparison their life upper one, and upper one comparison their life aristocratic. So when we are comparison on their own lives, so we are going to be in, some people are going to be in complex, but some are really thankful for what they have, and some are not thankful. So how you can take all these things?
Yeah, that's such a common struggle, and it really ties back to perspective. I think the key is to focus less on comparison and more on gratitude, recognizing the value in what you have, regardless of where you are. And also, everyone's journey is different. So instead of measuring by external standards, it's more about aligning with your own values and being at peace with where you are right now.
So what thing is important for our like mental peace? So how much the I personally I think comparison is not a good thing, or it disturbs our inner peace or our mental health.
Yeah, I completely agree. Comparison is really one of the biggest disruptors of inner peace because it pulls us away from being grateful and present. What's important for mental health is really grounding ourselves in self acceptance, focusing on our own progress, and being mindful of what we actually have without always measuring it against others.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have learned a lot. Next time I'll come with another topic.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad it was helpful. Whenever you're ready for a new topic, I'll be here and we can dive into that. Take care.
Take care.